Namaskara, this is Kripal Amanna and welcome to a new show on Food Lovers TV. Over the next 48 hours, I'm going to be eating my way through Mysuru. Ladles of tuppa. I'm so happy to watch the making of this dosa. I couldn't resist the temptation of a freshly fried masala vade. So she's now tempering the chocolate. They look like delicious rocks. The whiff of the cheese, first impression, reminds you of bacon. Eggs Benedict.
It also has a bit of dates.
Yeah. That is my favorite. In this series, I'm exploring Mysuru's culinary scene, iconic time-tested establishments and new age additions. I hope you caught the first episode where I feasted on a popular biryani, tasted some scrumptious baked treats and a Mysore pak at its source, before exploring the markets and a street food favorite of the city. You will find a link to the episode in the video description below. Our first stop in this episode is a wood-fired dosae tradition that began over 85 years ago at Vinayaka Mylari in Nazarabad to meet Mrs. Usha Rani, whose mother-in-law's mother-in-law began making this iconic dosae. So I'm with Mrs. Usha Rani, who's the third generation of Vinayaka Mylari. So the last time around we went to the
birthplace.
So that was the birthplace of the Vinayaka Mylari. It's 2 years, 80 years ago.
8 years ಆಯ್ತು ಸರ್.
I still vividly remember the fragile bite of this Vinayaka Mylari dosa, and I'm quite looking forward to savoring it yet again.
ತುಂಬ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ನಿಮ್ಮಿಂದ ತುಂಬ ಜನ ನಿಮ್ಮ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನಕ್ಕೂ ದಾರಿಯಾಗಿದೆ. ಇದು ಮನಸ್ಸಿಂದ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ನಾನು ದೇವರ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದ, ದೊಡ್ಡವರ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದ.
ನಾನು ಬರೀ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬೆಳಕು ಹಾಕೋದು, ಬೇರೆ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ದೆ. It's so nice to see Mrs. Usha Rani making the dosas herself. And that is the batter, the secret recipe. I think many people have tried to make the Mylari dosa, but what you get here is special altogether. Alla? Nimdu recipe on the unique.
ನಾವು ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ. ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಾವೇ ಓನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಬೇರೆಯವರು ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ.
So ಇದು ಬ್ಯಾಟರ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೀವೇ ಮಾಡೋದಾ ರೆಡಿ?
ನಾವೇ ಹುಡುಗರುಗಳಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನಾವೇ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಇದು.
Ladles of tuppa. I also like the manner in which they shuffle the dosa around. So once a dosa is roasted to a certain extent, they then move it to a slightly lesser hot area of the hanchu. Crunchy is there, soft is there.
ಎರಡೂ ಇದೆ.
I'm so happy to watch the making of this dosa. Mrs. Usha Rani making the dosa. And this is the specialty, the sagu, which is made of different vegetables. There's no potato stuffing that goes into the dosa here. Well, I've been dreaming of this dosa for a very long time, ever since I knew I was going to be returning to Mysuru to film this new show. This is a dosa that has just a touch of the sagu inside. The dosa is roasted to a beautiful golden brown crisp, and then of course there's the dollop of the benne. I want to make sure I smear it all over that original Vinayaka Mylari dosa. That's a dosa that barely needs any effort to break through. So good. I love that whisper of a soft crunch that you taste in that dosa. Get some of that chutney. Ee tarah dosa elli sikala. What do you like about this dosa?
The sagu is much better, sir.
The sagu is much better. This is also the sort of dosa that you can easily eat 3 or 4 of. And when you finish your first dosa, well, you're happy because that second dosa makes its appearance with some of that benne. The dosa is so delicate that sagu reveals itself from within that dosa. Along with the dosa that is soft, buttery, the sagu too quickly finds its way down your throat. My favorite bits are also the crunchy ends of that dosa. This is a dosa that is both crunchy and soft, pillowy at the same time. So good. I had another popular dosa in mind, but before that, a bit of a walk at Kukkarahalli Lake. Our next stop on this Mysuru food tour is right outside the gates of Kukkarahalli Lake. But before we head there, I thought we'd get a bit of a walk to work that dosa down. It is almost possible to not hear the sounds of the city as it wakes up just outside the gates of this verdant oasis of 150 acres located in the heart of Mysuru, adjacent to the university. This is where Mysuru comes to walk, breathing in the fresh morning air. Our second breakfast spot this morning is Deepu Gaadi, just outside Kukkarahalli Lake. This food truck opens only for 3 hours each morning, and going by the crowd that gathers here, I'm not surprised they run out of food this quickly. They do a range of traditional South Indian vegetarian tiffin, but one of the most popular items to taste here is a set masala dosa. Made thinner and smaller than a regular masala dosa, it is served in a set of 2. Namaskara, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಹೇಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಯಶವಂತ್, ಹೇಗೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನಿಮ್ಮದು ಸೆಟ್ ಮಸಾಲ ದೋಸೆ? I love the atmosphere here. I was here about 4 years ago. So there is Yashwant and Deepak, the brothers, and then there's their father, Mr. Ramachandra, and their uncle. So it's a family enterprise. And after the morning walk here in Kukkarahalli Lake, it is almost customary for people to come here and taste some of that dosa. They also do a bunch of other things, but it's the dosa that's quite popular. Well, as soon as I came here, Deepu said I should taste this idli. Idu every day martira, bari certain days. Wednesday mate? So apparently the sabbakki idli is made only on a Wednesday and a Sunday. That's an idli that's really soft. So there's a bit of semolina rave that goes into, but you're tasting mostly that slightly sticky texture of the tapioca pearls. So sabse ke sabbu kuda ide ala? So there's some coriander in that, also some dill, and now with some other chutney. Chutney is grainy. It's a urukadle chutney. It's grainy, it's spicy, and just the sort that complements that slightly sticky, soft texture of that idli really well. Idu nimdu kempu chutney sulpa kai haktira? Sulpa light agurde. Kobri haktira. There's some coconut in that kempu chutney and it's quite nice. You can taste a bit of its graininess against that slightly sour, spicy note of the chutney. Oh, but this sabbakki idli is quite special. I love the aroma of the dill that lingers on your palate long after you finish the idli. The set masala dosa was next. Ladled on the sizzling hot tawa in a set of 2, the dosa is roasted, smeared with a spicy red chutney, topped with a dollop of potato palya, and allowed to sizzle to a deep golden brown. The last I visited Deepu Gaadi was about 4 years ago when we filmed an episode, and for some reason I remembered the set masala dosa being smaller, but out here this seems to be a dosa that's quite big. In fact, it's overflowing from that plate, and there are 2 of these. But notwithstanding that, I couldn't resist the temptation of a freshly fried masala vade. As a textbook vade, crisp, crunchy on the outside, soft inside, a bit of the onion that you're biting into, the burnt onion, the toasted onion on the top of the vade, and a bit of the soft onion inside, and then of course the lingering flavor of the dill. This is a vada that needs no chutney. Let's get now to that dosa. So the set dosa is a dosa that's spread lightly on the tawa, and then they have a masala that goes on it. That's a dosa that's very, very pliable, very soft, tears away quite easily. It's also a dosa that's not overburdened by the tuppa, the butter and things like that. It's got the butter and a bit of the oil, but it's just enough to cook the dosa. There's no extra heroics, there's no extra dollops of butter on top, and I guess that's also the reason why you can finish two of them quite easily, assuming of course you've not had the Mylari dosa just before this. Next with some of the gatti chutney. That's a delicious dosa. After our fix of South Indian breakfast, it was time to taste something different. A short drive brought us to Naviluna, a cafe that began elsewhere as a chocolate factory in 2012, introducing Mysuru to single origin chocolates made from cacao beans grown in India. Set in a beautifully restored heritage bungalow that dates back to 1872, this space hosts a chocolate studio, cafe, and also serves as a stage for evening soirees and lazy brunches. I was here to meet founder David Bello, a South African of Portuguese descent who moved from London to Mysuru in 2011. The last time I met David Bello was 5 years ago at his chocolate factory. But I guess since then, things have changed, including this spectacular building that now houses Naviluna chocolates and also an interesting cafe.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಹೇಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ
ನಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ ತುಂಬಾನೇ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ
So David, this is quite the transformation from the chocolate factory that I visited you.
Yes, from acorns big oaks grow, hopefully. Yeah.
Fantastic. And I must tell you, I think you've got the perfect setting to tell your story.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what we needed. We always said that, Mysore and its heritage and its craftsmanship was a big part of who Naviluna is, but we didn't really have a platform to express that. So I hope that this kind of sort of fills that gap and gives people a better, a deeper sense of what Naviluna is. So the property dates back to 1872. All original lime plaster. We had masons from Jharkhand and Rajasthan taking actual shells and turning it into shell lime as it would have been done 150 years ago. Besides chocolate and agriculture, the thing that I'm really passionate about is built heritage and architecture. So this is the tempering hall. So we still use a traditional slabbing method of tempering. I still believe in keeping things as manual as possible. And nice reclaimed chandelier. So we have a bespoke collection of bonbons. They change every quarter. We're trying to keep it really sort of clean and crisp on the flavors, not too complex, but showing people flavors that they are familiar with, tamarind and pepper, muskmelon, or even black sesame, in new ways.
It's almost like you would display jewelry.
It is an old teak jewelry case. Yeah.
All this talk about chocolate, and I was quite eager to taste some.
I think probably best to start off with the tamarind, chamomile, and black pepper jelly.
Oh, let's do that.
Dark chocolate coating, painted, hand painted with colored cocoa butter, and then it's all just confits and jellies inside.
I'm tasting for the tamarind. The pepper at the very end. Just a little bit of the warmth.
Just a bit of warmth. And the chamomile sort of just creates more breadth.
The chamomile is somewhere on the side. It's not trying to do anything more than that. It's just allowing the tamarind and the warmth of the pepper to shine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Next, I think the best thing to go is for the muskmelon.
I was eyeing that, the muskmelon. They look like delicious rocks. I'm really tasting fruitiness, the summery fruitiness of the muskmelon. It's very different from that one.
Yeah.
As you keep it in your mouth, you first relish the flavors of the muskmelon, and then once the muskmelon disappears, then is the dark chocolate. What is that on top of that?
Banana, nanjangud rasbale, yelaki, and karu. All done in prepared in 3 different ways.
The yelaki, the nanjangud rasbale, and the kadbale.
And karu bale.
I have to taste that. Can I? The Nanjangud Rasbale Hannu has a sweet and sour sort of character, and that's what I'm tasting.
Yeah. This recipe is available in two strengths, the
Okay.
classic 72 and the almost dark, which is 61.8%. I actually find that this recipe performs better at a lower percentage, lower strength.
So this is a 61 point.
It's a bit rounder. Even the subtle characteristics of the Darjeeling tea comes through in the finish a bit better.
Yeah. It definitely is a lot more approachable.
Yeah, and that's why we came out with the Almost Dark series, because we realized that a lot of folks love the concept of Naviluna and really want to get into dark chocolate, but they needed a gateway so they could have the Naviluna experience even if their palates weren't quite ready for 72% dark.
So 61% still has that residual sweetness that still makes it very approachable.
It does.
To be honest, between the two, I think this one embraces the bananas a lot
It
better.
does. We are in the inner sanctum.
We are in the inner sanctum of David's Naviluna. So what brought you to India?
A change is the short answer. And for me, India just represented the opportunity to explore great produce at a lower cost of living, so that creatively I could really explore and experiment. And then I had this great idea to start a chocolate factory, and I've been stuck ever since.
So she's now tempering the chocolate.
There are 5 crystal structures in cocoa butter.
Okay.
And only the form 5 crystal gives us that coherent color, shine and snap. She's first heated it up to 110 Fahrenheit. She's going to heat it down to basically bring together form 4 and form 5. And then form 4 breaks at 84, so you're going to bring it up to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, where only the form 5 remains. So she's just spreading it, and what's happening is that the thermal energy is going from the chocolate and being absorbed into the marble.
So this is always done on marble.
Always on marble, because it's the coolest stone.
Technical explanations aside, it's almost therapeutic to watch the chocolate being tempered and then poured into molds before being sprinkled over with nuts and other toppings. If you're a chocolate lover, Naviluna has to be on your list.
So right now we're doing an all-day brunch from here. So this is the cafe space.
What are you having?
I'm having a galau.
Okay.
It's the cousin of the macchiato
Okay.
and the staple drink of the city of Lisbon.
Coffee looks certainly very good, but I think I'll stick to chocolate.
When in Rome.
When in Rome, yeah. What chocolate do you use in this one?
So we actually make a custom barista chocolate specifically for drinking applications.
Thickness at the back of my mouth, what is that?
The type of chocolate that we've used here is very high in fat, some full cream and a touch of sugar.
This is almost like a replacement to a snack.
Yeah,
It says filling is that.
So we've got classic raisin infused scones. We've got our homemade cacao nib infused clotted cream, and then a homemade raisin jam using Bangalore blue grapes. This is an open tartine sandwich, 100% rye sourdough, and then on top we've got smoked bandal cheese from Calcutta.
So some clotted cream on top first, right?
Yeah.
And raisin jam. Delicious. I love how the acidity of the grape preserve is cutting through the fat of the clotted cream.
2 weeks ago we had jamun jam.
Really?
Yeah.
So, scones, clotted cream with cocoa nibs, jamun jam.
Jamun jam.
I like the texture of your scones too. A bit biscuity, little scrumptious around the edges. You got some pears there.
Poached pear in a allspice syrup.
Wonderful.
Poached with a touch of tulsi and a cacao nib, olive oil and honey glaze.
The whiff of that cheese, first impression, reminds you of bacon.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
And then I'm tasting the spices.
And you notice that the bandal is still quite salty,
It is.
but it's offset with the sweetness of the poached pear.
And I think the rye is a perfect medium to carry that. Eggs Benedict. This This is a loaded eggs Benedict. Huh?
It's very much loaded, yes.
There's too much of a party happening in there.
We have rehydrated the shiitake mushrooms
Oh.
in a stout soya sauce infusion. As we've grilled it, we've just seasoned it with a stout and honey reduction.
Ah, okay, so that's what I'm tasting.
That's our sweetness.
So I noticed there's no bacon. Is your restaurant more vegetarian?
It is vegetarian.
Yeah?
Yeah,
So barring the eggs, everything is vegetarian.
exactly.
As I was winding up my breakfast here, I couldn't help but wonder that concepts like Naviluna and Sapa have blossomed in the city not just because of the pioneering spirit of entrepreneurs like David Bello and Dina Weber, but also because the people of Mysuru have embraced them, and that's what makes these stories special. I needed some coffee after my multiple breakfasts, so I made my way to the Malgudi Coffee shop. Located in the Green Hotel, formerly the Chittaranjan Princess Palace, this coffee shop is truly a relic from an era long gone. Sitting in a quaint courtyard, this is also an initiative that seeks to empower women. The women bake the treats on offer and also brew the coffee. I was here last about 4 or 5 years ago and I just had the coffee and some of the cakes, but I think there's a lot that's happened since then. There's also some health-based shots, so there's a mint shot, a turmeric shot, a ginger shot, smoothies and lunch bowls, and if you also fancy sandwiches, well, they have those too. But I think most people come here for the coffee and the cakes.
Organic shots. This one is lime mint shot, turmeric shot.
Turmeric shot.
Yeah.
Minty is all I can say. This I like. Hello, how are you? I was also meeting Vinayaka Rao, an entrepreneur originally from Bengaluru who has made Mysuru home for the last 12 years. So have you been here before?
Many times.
Many times.
Yeah.
Why do you come here?
Because it's quaint. I come here and read a lot. I sit, have a coffee. You know, it gives me time to introspect, right? And I love the ambience. This hotel is actually one of my favorites.
Yeah.
So this is, I think, one of the first few places that I've come to. When we had guests visiting, we would bring them to dinner because it has a beautiful outdoor venue as well.
So that was Mysuru then, and then now?
Where we live, in the last 6 months, there have been 3 restaurants that have opened up.
Really?
And every day there's a new restaurant opening, there's a new cafe opening, there's some new coffee place opening. And I think there's still scope for a lot of places and also for, I think, a variety of cuisines, because I think Mysore people are kind of like, they love their food, their local food, but experimenting with other cuisines, I think, is something that people have slowly started to, you know, sort of experiment now.
So what's this thing to have here? I'm told that the cakes here are very popular.
It's very nice.
Yeah, so should we try some coffee and cakes?
Yeah, we could try.
Rich chocolate cake. Lemon drizzle.
The date and walnut.
Pineapple upside down. So this, I'm told, is a very popular cake here, huh? The lemon drizzle. There's a nice tartness to that cake. Good coffee. I think out here it's more about the overall experience.
What makes this place, you know, special is the fact that it's one of Mysore's oldest places. So I think it's kind of like nostalgia, you know.
What should we taste next? The date and...
I think I'll try the chocolate.
Oh, chocolate. All right. That is decadence, huh? So gooey, chocolatey, very moist. Definitely need a shot of the coffee to just get rid of that chocolate excess. With all this change that's happening in Mysuru, where do you see it headed?
I'm just hoping and praying it doesn't turn out like a bungalow. That's
Yeah.
something I think the local people of Mysore would never ever want. And this city is very culturally strong as well, you know, because of the Vadia dynasty, and because it's a heritage city, the palace, Chamundi Betta, the temple. And somewhere I feel like we want to retain all of that. We don't want to turn it into this commercial city where everybody, like you said, real estate is coming in. There are a lot of companies walking in.
This is turmeric and sunflower seed bread with a whole leaf, and this is cinnamon and raisin. Without pesticide, no preservatives, nothing else.
In the wheat.
Yeah, it's a whole wheat.
Should we try some of that banana?
There's banana and walnut.
Banana and walnut.
It also has a bit of dates.
Yeah. That is my favorite. It doesn't seem over the top.
Right.
You better have that with a filter coffee. I
Coffee.
think it just seals the deal for me.
I have this most of the times when I come.
Yeah.
We're upside down.
Completely in sync with that.
And just a coffee, and then also because I sit for a long time, I have
Oh.
like 2-3 cups of coffees,
Yeah.
and then I'm writing something or journaling.
Mysuru is seeing a renaissance of coffee shops that are incredibly serious about their coffee. And one of the earliest places I'm told is Minimal Coffee Roasters in Gokulam. How serious are they about their coffee, you ask? Well, coffee is the only item on the menu, barring a cookie or two. Hello. Nothing like the smell of coffee when you walk into a coffee shop. How old is the place?
It's 5 years.
5 years old, and I can see you've got coffee in every shape, form and brew.
Here specialty coffee is more popular, sir.
Okay.
Manual brewing, V60 and AeroPress.
What's a V60? I know what an AeroPress is.
V60 is a method of manual brewing, sir.
Okay.
Pour the hot water on the ground coffee.
On the ground
then
coffee.
we get drip coffee.
And where's your coffee coming from?
The estate name is Salavara. It's from Chikmagalur.
Okay.
A single origin bean, sir. We are not using any blend
So it's
here.
what, Arabica?
Yes, pure Arabica and medium roast.
So what's a
And
double A?
It's double A.
Double A beans. So what should I be tasting here?
You can try our flat white.
Okay.
This is the best. And if you are black coffee lover, you can try our V60.
So I'd like to try both. Wonderful.
How are you feeling, sir?
Very nice, and I love the balance of the milk and the coffee. It's not too milky.
Usually flat white goes with a double shot.
Very good coffee.
Thanks.
This is the sort of coffee that stirs you awake. Very chocolatey, very nutty in its notes, and just the right strength. Minimal Coffee's founder, Ashwin, shuttles between Mysuru and China, where he has opened a string of coffee shops. China? Well, yes, I was as surprised as you are. So I had to get on a video call with him to learn more.
Thank you for visiting Minimal.
It's wonderful to see your passion for coffee.
I was into sales. I was selling coffee machines. So I was in the same field, but I got my experience and then I decided this is not my life. So I decided to move back home.
Of course, today coffee is the rage in Mysuru. So when you began 5 years ago, was it the same case?
Not really. So we started with this very small minimal setup, single group machine, and then we had few regulars, and then we started seeing people are appreciating our coffee, how we are brewing coffee. We are very busy in terms of the inflow from Mysore, Bangalore. People are appreciating what we are doing. During COVID, we stayed open as well, just doing takeaway. And my wife was in China. I had a daughter as well, so I had to fly to China. So during peak COVID.
And even now you're sitting in China, you've got some coffee shops in China too now. How did that happen?
And then I was quite bored.
Huh.
What am I going to do here? And then anyway, I couldn't fly out of China, or due to lockdowns. We thought we'll set up a coffee shop here. and then it has grown to 5 locations so far.
Wonderful. Great to meet you here and great to meet your team as well. I wish you the very best.
Thank
See
you.
you.
Bye.
Cheers. I can already smell a bit of the fermentation in the air.
That's the fruity. You just smell it now.
It smells a bit like hay. Huh?
It's my favorite.
Yeah. So you should taste with me then. I'm definitely getting that very fermented sort of flavor. Very light.
It's light roast bean. It's a medium body.
Yes, it's light, but there is a bit of a weight that you feel on the tongue.
Yeah. After 3 sips, you find the real taste of coffee.
What I like about this coffee is that it's very light. The last one that I tried, although it was a milk coffee, it felt a lot stronger to me.
Yeah, espresso is stronger than.
Extraction of the coffee is a lot more. So, for instance, that coffee, if I drink it after 6 o'clock, I will not be able to sleep. But this coffee I could, because the extraction of the caffeine is probably a lot lesser.
Actually, this is the perfect coffee.
Yeah.
Not that.
This is like a sipping coffee. No? Lovely. Very nice. I'm enjoying this coffee. This is the, what do you call this coffee here? V60.
Pour over.
V60 pour over. Fantastic. After all that coffee, I wanted to get some fresh air, a little away from the ground, so to speak, and so I found myself at High Park, a revolving restaurant on Devaraj Road that overlooks all of Mysuru. From here, you get a 360-degree bird's eye view of the city. There's a well-stocked bar and a menu that offers a smattering of comfort fare to keep you company as you take in the views. It was also nice to catch up with Mr. Venkatesh Gupta and his family, the owners of High Park Revolving Restaurant. So how old is this restaurant?
This is around 2013 we opened this. There are a lot of revolving restaurants, but this one is different because it's an open air revolving restaurant, one of its kind.
So this moves every 1 hour, one circle.
1 hour 10 minutes, one circle.
I can feel it revolve, I can feel it. It's not like you cannot.
My father, who always wanted to have a revolving restaurant, wanted to give something else to Mysore. 2013, then Mysore was improving. Then we thought, okay, good, now it's the right time to do it.
I guess when it's late in the evening and the city goes a bit dark, the lights come up, I guess that's when you appreciate the view from here even better. So if you want to get a sense of what's happening in Mysuru, where things are in Mysuru, you come up here and you get a bird's eye view. You've seen Mysuru change?
Lot of changes.
Yeah?
Lot of changes.
Okay.
It's turning out more like a Bangalore city now.
I hope it doesn't become a Bengaluru completely.
Traffic-wise, I think it started, like,
Yes.
but the culture-wise, still it is not there. Like the expressway did make a lot of difference. The hospitality industry has seen a lot of changes. This time.
Yeah. So is it
This post, after the lockdown, what has happened? Lot
revenge
of changes.
tourism?
Revenge tourism.
Oh, this is nice. Just hits the spot. Thank you. You can of course hear the sound of the traffic from the street below, but beyond that, Mysuru looks calm, looks serene, like nothing has changed. I can see the lights of the palace in the distance there. You see the twin spires of Philomena's church in the distance. They say that when you look at a city from an elevation, your perspective of the city changes. When you're walking below amidst the din and the hustle, things can seem very chaotic. But when you perch yourself in a space like this and take in these glorious vistas, well, you appreciate the city in a different light altogether. When I first visited Mysuru about 5 years ago, it reminded me of a Bengaluru that I had moved to in the late 90s. And from whatever I've seen in the last 48 hours, there's plenty that's changed already in Mysuru. I only hope it doesn't change so much so as to become the Bengaluru of today. I would like Mysuru to somehow find a way to still retain its charm, its culture, its history and traditions. So in a short span of time, you've captured the hearts of people here. For me, well, it's always a good sign when you approach the counter and you get proffered a katori of kesari bath. I think places like these, in addition to the food, it's about the vibe. Everyone's in a happy state of mind. You've got to be in line before they open. And I'm told whatever you see there in the window, that's all that they have. I can now smell the aromas of the baked goods waft out as the door has finally been opened. So you're an engineer who got into food.
And being a vegan myself, I realized that this is what I want to do after coming here.
Yes.
Let's give Mysoreans a taste of plant-based food and see how things go.
If you'd like to support the work that we do at Food Lovers TV, do consider joining our membership community on YouTube by hitting the join button below or on the home page and receive special privileges like behind the scenes footage, shoot updates, access to live Q&As and a lot more. You could support us on a Patreon page as well. For more info, check out the links in the description below. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, share and leave a comment below. Happy eating!